Gonna start the presentation. So, thank you, first of all, to the organizers team to have invited me here. It was the last moment invitation somewhat, so I did my best to make it throughout my incident response week. So I'm gonna get back to Paris right after the presentation is over. In case you have questions, you'll have my emails at the end of the presentation, so feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. I'll be eager to respond. Also, I'd like to thank the organizers who fixed me an AC adapter at last moment yesterday. I'm very, very thankful to you, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to probably finish up a few slides. As you know, we usually finish presentations, the day before the presentation, so the normal way. Anyways, today we're going to cover a topic which is somewhat overhyped these later years. Red teaming. I'm going to be telling some banal things. Well, in that case, you'll excuse me, but I want to be as thorough, as vulgar as to the subject as possible. So we're going to be creating a Red Team mission from scratch, and we're going to need to cover anything which relates to it. So even though it's called Red Team, it's not monochrome as a task, So I'm going to need some helpers here. Let's get them out. We'll get a few hats to wear during the presentation. So in case I forget to change a hat, you'll remind me, okay? I've got a few colors here. I hope you like them. This stems from my collection. Here we go. We're almost there. Anyways, let's go. This is the way it appears on the side. I wanted it to correspond. Well, my primary job is to blend in with the crowds, so that's like the perfect photo to do that. Thanks for the organizers to have chosen it to represent my identity. I'm very, very in line with that. I'm part of CERT Société Générale. It's a French financial CERT team you may have known of, some of you at least. So we're not going to speak about myself. As with any CERT team, as with any mission, successful mission, that we want to touch upon, it's a group project, okay? So it's a team game. So we're going to rather be answering the question, who are we? We are a CERT team within Société Générale. It's a financial group. Over 150,000 people on contract worldwide. So that makes it, for some, information system issues, may arise. So we're somewhere in the middle. We do both of defensive security and offensive security. So we're going to cover the offensive part, but the security is a holistic thing. That's the something I'll get back to at a certain point of my presentation, because that's the essential part. You got to establish a holistic baseline in order to be able to respond to all the incidents, all the problems that you may have within your organization. So in terms of holistic approach to security, we've got different bricks to deal with at CERT Société Générale. Some of them are depicted here. So we do cybercrime monitoring, vulnerability intelligence, and vulnerability watch. Threat intelligence, that's one of the key points relative to my today's presentation. Security watch as well. Phishing awareness, bug bounty. I've seen there will be a presentation on bug bounty. So that'd be another brick covered throughout this conference. Incident response is our core activity as a CERT, Société Générale Blue team, part of the job. Malware analysis, digital forensics, those are some things that we are in charge of at CERT Société Générale. But today we're gonna focus mostly on the Red Team brick, and we're gonna try to make up a mission in real time here. So let's move further. Why red teaming? Why all these bars? I don't know if you have any ideas whatsoever. Maybe this slide will make you any good to see why we're here, right? Redteam, artificial intelligence, big data, buzzwords, right? Good stuff. I mean, that's how it works in real life. You get a buzzword which has been heard by one of your top executives, and they ask you to implement it because it sounds realistic. Well, that means that your top executive actually are interested in what they're doing, which is a good thing. This is exactly what happened to us. So, Redteam, why going red? Okay, being disruptive is the whole thing behind it. So red, I'm gonna put this hat on. Anyone knows where it all started? It all started in the late 60s as an analytical approach used within, actually, I was rather going for this one because we are touching the military domain here, okay? The US military started using the concept of red teaming. Why red teaming? Because they wanted to depict the way the Soviets, the Ruskies, thought back at that time, okay? In order to be able to follow along with the decision-making process, the way the Ruskies would do that, in order to be able to better respond to that. And for the sake of what? The whole thing. Yeah, to make America great again, exactly. Specifically, starting in the late 90s, this is something which was brought over to the tabletop exercises and more analytical drills within the US Army, different departments, not necessarily touching to the IT domains, but just in general. So this is a concept, this is an analytical concept. We want to represent your best enemy. Why the best? Well, because we want to be able to get what it takes to tackle the best attacker over there, okay? So, bam. Basically, that means the red teaming is not there to show off. It's not there to follow along the buzzwords. It is to prepare yourselves to the worst case scenarios and to be able not to panic when the time comes, or not to panic when you realize that 183 days into the breach, you're actually breached, okay? You want to be able to draw up to sketch up the exact things to do, the exact plan, incident response plan, to use once the accident has already happened, once the attackers, and there will be attackers, are on your network. Okay, so just let's, it all boils down to some needs which arise from time to time that you are actually required to answer. Our red teaming, internal red teaming at Société Générale is actually to respond to two questions. First of all, we wanted to make sure that we properly assess the maturity of our information systems and especially the security of thereof, in order to make it resilient to the real life threats. And real life threats, there are some. You must have heard of I don't know, attacks on Sony, Carbonac, Ananak, Fin7, whatever. Money do attract some people. Not necessarily from the financial industry, that is. So, and the second point to address is to provide a decisional tool to anticipate the worst and avoid the worst case scenarios and the worst case impacts on your information security, on your brand image, on your people. Okay? So it's a tool above all. No presentation goes without a saying from Sun Tzu, okay? This is not my preferred strategist, but he could have come up with something like that. Your best enemy who wants you to get better. Speaking of a red team, okay? Well, this is actually not Sun Tzu who said it, but if I put Alex Kouzmine here, it wouldn't make me any good, right? But that's a phrase actually caught on with our senior management, and it gave us some attractivity in terms of how we are presented marketing wise. So basically we had this pen test versus red team, everyone knows what's the difference, right? More or less. So we're not gonna spend more time defining what it is, just to point out the main concepts. We are looking to get trophies as a result of the red teaming process. Okay? Trophies are what? Trophies are infiltrated systems, trophies are compromised critical systems, confidential data we exfiltrate, whatever you name it, whatever it may be defined during the definition part of the scenario. But why do we do that? Okay, just to put it simple, red teaming through trophies is a high-level awareness process. Okay? You want to attract the attention of your decision makers, the people who actually sign off checks for you, new technologies, yeah, we're going to sign them. But you want to convince these people to be on your side, to actually shift the needs and the budget of your organization to the reality. Make it stick with the reality. That's what you're looking for. So, without further ado, red teaming. Yeah, right, kill chain. Everyone has heard about it. Yeah, that's like the holy car. The holy car of any red team presentation. You get all sorts of kill chains thanks to Lockheed Martin and another organization. You've got this type of kill chain like that. That's just, terrific. It can go indefinitely like that. That's one of the things that we actually use. That's the Mitra attack matrix. We use it as a cheat sheet, as a tactical cheat sheet. Whenever we are at some point realizing our mission and we don't know what to go next or how to go next or how to make it in the most efficient way. So let's say we are at the credential access part. So what are we going to do next to get it, to make it there? Credential dumping, credentialing files, whatever. That's a really useful part of our mission. This is the way I see it. It doesn't give you any good, just looking at this stuff. I mean, it looks somewhat scientific-like, which it is not. It's my cheat sheet as a project manager to put up the milestones of my tactical approaches in what has to deal of making it to the final objective. So, let's model, right? Because that's what it starts from. We want to model someone to be able to represent him throughout our mission. How do we do that? CrowdStrike guys, they have done, they're painters, they have done a tremendous job. I'm just a fan of them. Those are APT groups, right? Like mostly state-sponsored APT groups. I love them. I've got my collection on Pinterest, like of different APT groups. Kaspersky guys have been somewhat, let's say exotic about it, but those are just, typical representation. That's what makes your CEOs think that we are doing the real thing, which we are doing the real thing, but you got to convince them, Why modeling? Why do we do that? Well, once again, it comes down to inform your business about your business needs and technology. Inform your business and technology owners in order to prioritize against the existing threats. That's why you want to actually, and you do that through common threat assessments, okay? You create a common view of cyber threat landscape. That's why you're doing all the watch. You're trying to get along with all the new APT reports published out there to be able to assess what's in there, which is actually of any good to you, to your organization. All that in order to get an external view of, by assessing the active threats out there, in what they relate to your business continuity, and to assess the existing defensive postures within your information system, within your organizations, okay? In order to be able to adjust at some point whenever there is lacking control or untrained people or whatever. All that in order to prioritize financial and HR allocation within your organization in what has to deal with information security. So basically, APT emulation. We're going to emulate a financial APT today, or somewhat financial, let's put it this way. This is a depiction from the Mitre side once again. Well, this is something which looks fancy, but that's not enough in order for us to mount a real project. Usual suspects, who are we after? Well, as a financial group, we're mostly after some, financial guys. We've got you might have heard of Anunak, also known as Carbonak. You've got the metal guys, Odinov, Lazarus, of course, Lazarus, Koreans. Those are like the number one scapegoats to point at. Fin7, you name them. How do we go about monitoring what they do? Well, actually, you pick a topic, like a group which seems to be in line with something, with your interests, and you keep up watching what's happening in public relative to these people. So after that, you capitalize on what you have discovered relative to their activities, their TTPs, their ways of thinking, their the people they dispose of in order to cover for their mission needs. You may use whatever tool you have. This is an excerpt from our internal team, internal tool. But I mean, it's up to you really. The way you want to knowledge manage the things on the attacker. The main thing is to be able to reproduce the way they act, think, and the way they may disrupt your activities. Anyways, no logo, no vulnerability, right? That's the way it goes with in terms of vulnerabilities. So I came up with this logo for our APT campaign that we're going to mount today. This is the representation of the final target of our campaign, and you'll find out why. We'll call it FAPT42, Financial APT, Funky Elephants. You want to make it as affordable, as tangible as possible for your decision makers. So let's go for it. Let's say we're November the 8th today. You get a call from your CEO or from your CISO rather, right? Yeah, I've heard some, crazy eyes at me. So they tell you, you know what? I read this CIO magazine yesterday. And it seems to be a good idea to actually get a red team internally. I think it's a sexy concept. So why not? Let's say we are rapid fast. We've got plenty of experience to share. Say, okay, let's schedule the first meeting. We want to involve a few guys here. We're gonna need some teams, some guys on the white side. The white side are basically the facilitators, the guys who are in charge of the information security processes, architecture, etc. It's a neutral team. It conceives and validates the scenario. Me, as a white team leader, I am actually the one who identifies the people in charge within my organization for each given exercise, and try to actually mount it the way that it works within your organization. So you want to establish a secure and rapid communication channels within your organization. That means probably not email, but it depends how it works within your organization, right? But people no longer use BlackBerry, so it may take time for the decision making to go on, right? So you want to shorten the indecision time spans, okay? For that, you may, what I found useful is to mount any type of grouped communication channeling, like let's say Slacks, whenever they're used within your organization. Most likely the executives won't use Slack, So you want to go along and adapt to their needs, like Signal groups, WhatsApp, whatever. Wow. Okay, let's get it back. Fortunately, no. Yeah. Anyways, you define members of each team participating to this exercise. That means team members from Redteam. Well, those are the ones who are going to implement the tactical schemes of your exercise. Blue teamers, purple teamers, everyone. Don't forget the managerial stuff. You want to be able to inform them in a due form, because those are actually the sponsors of your mission and of your very existence as a Red Team organizer. Second, I hope it works. No? Yeah, we're getting back to our kill chain, right? Hop. Why does it not work? Okay, the demo, the demo, how it works with the demos. I'll have to regenerate the whole kill chain. I'm sorry for that. Anyways, once you're done with that, you want to move along and choose the targets for your exercise. Okay? So we've been up, no, still no good. Okay, I'll try to make it manually. Hope, not yet. Hope. Yeah, that's the demo part of it. That's the way it goes actually in real life. So you want to sketch up the strategic scenarios. What do you want to go after? Well, from our mission, today's mission within the FAPT42 scenario, we want to target the big data. Why big data? While reading from manuals depicting different red teaming scenarios, people usually go after swift things, critical infrastructures, all that kind of thing. I mean, GDPR, right? Everyone has been saying good words about it ever since the beginning of this year. This is not where I want to go. That's the real problem. That's the way it goes in real life. So, strategic scenario. I'm sorry, I'll have to stick up with what I have. You go with the definition of your scenario. It takes time to get it validated by all the team members, really. So, make up for additional time span. Let's say 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the scale of your organization. Once it's done, or it's going to be okayed by your strategic guys, you may pass along this mission already to your red team for them to find the right ways of targeting the final targets. Okay, so you pass along, and what they do usually, they take care of the passive reconnaissance, we call it. Okay, that's the part of the kill chain. I hope it works. Yeah, it does. Wow. Sorry for that, guys. You want to be able to look through LinkedIn corporate sites, further internal corporate sites, social networking sites. Twitter is the corporate thing. You get lots of things out there. People, they post stuff in Twitter because they think it's like, it's not Facebook. You can put it wherever you want. Images, special emphasis on images. You get things, you get intelligence from images. People, they post stuff with passwords on their Wi-Fi's, posted on the walls. This is not something you cannot use. You can use that, right? People, they pre-tag, yeah, I'm from that department, I'm on a top secret mission involving big data, but, I can post it on Twitter and no one looks at it anyways, right? Yeah, well, people do look. Once you're done with that, yeah, I'm definitely out of luck here, but once you're done with the passive reconnaissance, okay, passive reconnaissance is a thing that goes for a few weeks, right? You're not very time bound while allocating your resources, looking for some extra stuff in the open sources. Once you're done, I hope it works. You get back to your logo, okay? No, to your logo, I said. Sorry, guys, that worked just fine yesterday, but that's not the case here today, yeah? Huh? So, okay, the logo is up there. Elephants, you wanna get back to it. You wanna say to a manager, yeah, we're all ready to launch our mission. Are we okay with that? They say yes, we're okay with that because that's exactly what we ask you to do, right? So next thing, you wanna conceive the tactical realization of your scenarios, right? So you wanna actually go through the whole keychain and submit the technical elements to make it to each milestone fixed within your keychain. You get it validated as well with some of the team members, not with the executives, because they don't care. They care about the final strategic purpose of your exercise. But with the people in charge of the infrastructure, you really want to get it validated. Because in case of if something goes wrong, and it does, things do go wrong, like as we've seen, they are responsible for the disturbance it may cause on your information systems. So once you get it validated, once again, I'm very much lucky here, or not. Am I not? Yeah. There is an optional phase which you cannot see here, but I'll share my slides after that. So sorry once again for that. Active reconnaissance phase. This is something that which you may or may not need depending on the type of mission that you're into, right? Active reconnaissance is like you go end mapping directly your frontal targets. This is something we want to avoid because first of all, we do get enough information through our passive reconnaissance phase, which is still ongoing. Secondly, you don't want to get identified by the blue teamers, because that's how you can get identified by blue teamers, because nmap, that's it generates some stuff that can make you flagged, right? Secondly, once you're done, you want to step into the weaponization phase. That's the way most of the kill chain models call it. You prepare your campaign. Do not be fancy about it. I know that people are crazy about introducing some, revolutionary things. Physical intrusion is the key, right? No, well, that's not how you get attacked. No, Lazarus will not send, to my knowledge, they will not send Koreans over to your organization because that may get them arrested, right? Eventually. Most of the attacks, they pass through the regular phishing or spear phishing, okay? So you want to stick to the things that work and in order for them to be efficient. Anyways, once you have prepared, so for your spear phishing campaign, you may need payloads that you want to deliver with at the delivery phase. So you want to prepare it there. Take some time into testing that, because things do arise at the time when you launch your attacks and they do not work. You don't want to lose time during the exercise after the mission has been launched. You want to take some time and make sure that everything works. Once you're done, once again, I'll need to cheat here. Yeah, that's just crazy stuff. I don't know why it doesn't work. Go. You prepare the delivery. That means you want to deliver your payload. The payload may be just a message. It may be a binary. It may be, I don't know, some beacons, whatever you choose it to be. Once again, think humble and think simple. Don't go into over sophistication of things. You'll overcomplicate things for yourselves in the first place. Do the things that work. That comes from my experience. If you take it simplistically and humbly, most likely you will succeed in your mission. Once everything is done, you can launch your first spear phishing or phishing campaign, whichever you have defined prior to the beginning of your exercise. From my experience, prepare a few campaigns. Different populations, different payloads, different delivery messages. Because some things, as it comes to reality, they tend to not work in real-time situations. So be wise about it and try to think about about how you can overcome the problems. So once you're all set, hop, you can go fishing, right? Prior to going to launching your active phases of your red teaming, do get the validation from the people in charge. People like it when you're transparent. They don't like it when you stab them in their backs. You know, it's just, you know, not the way it goes within the corporate world. So do get it validated. Tell them. You don't have to be formal. Send a message through the WhatsApp group or Signal group saying, we are okay to launch our campaign targeting this population. Do we get the green light from you guys? Most of the time they'll say, yeah, go for it. So you wanna, what are the objectives behind it? You wanna get the initial footholds and get some credentials from your missions. Once on the system, now once again, yeah, I'll try to get there on the system or not. Once on the system, let's say everything goes smoothly and you're very lucky and you got all you need from the first try. You want to look around you. This is something that I have not seen anywhere. We call it offensive forensics internally. Basically, it deals with active reconnaissance on target. You want to dig in further onto the endpoints that you have compromised, because you do find interesting stuff there, including password files, okay? People no longer use those, right? No, wrong. They still use them. Okay, go securely about it. Don't brag about these things. I'll give a special message for that later on. You want to go digging through their browser histories, through their browser passwords. People do register passwords, and that makes your life much easier, right? So once you're done, you are ready to move along to the to get closer to your final targets. We have been after big data servers. So we want to, most likely you would not, you won't make it to the big data server just after a mere spearfishing, whatever, however successful it may be. If you're lucky enough, you'll make it to the system administrator or something, or someone related, like a data scientist related to a given big data project. Okay, so you wanna, after identifying the network around this guy, you wanna move laterally closer to your final target. So you wanna exploit some remote services, pass the hashes, use the passwords you have identified previously, whatever you call it, remote desktop, that works very well. You know, people do get privileges for something that they're not specifically, let's say, entitled of, unfortunately. Also, persistence. You want to get the persistence on the crucial targets, because that enables you to get back there whenever you need it. Okay, those are some banal things. I'm sorry to tell you them, but you know, just in terms of project milestoning, that's the way it works. Once you are persistent, you want to do some additional offensive forensics. You want to dig in deeper, including scanning around yourself, scanning around the servers that may be of some interest to you, in order to identify those that you are actually look for. Once you're done with that, you're ready to do what? To get the elephant, right? Actions on objectives. What is the final objective of our mission today? Is to exfiltrate big data. This may be all types of data, nominal data, credentials, IBANs, whatever. Do it in a secure way, please. Please do that. I know that, it's not worth emphasizing on that because, all the pen test people, they usually do it in a secure way, right? Or not? I prefer restating some banal things in order for them to be understood. Once you have made it to your final objective, send a message to the mission owners saying, yeah, we've done it. Please do, can we get it validated? They say, yeah, you've attained the objective. This is something you will state in the final report. Don't neglect that. You want to be sure to have captured the flag, if you want to put it this way. Is it over? Okay, so we can actually get rid of our hat here. The red mission is over, right? Why have we been doing this whole thing overall? Well, the thing is, it's not over. Far from being over. Actually, that's the... you have done just the shortest part of your mission. Now, you want to move to the purple part of it. Okay? You've identified some weaknesses on your system. Some lacking... some people with unnecessary privileges. Now you want to blend in all the inputs, all the feedback from the blue guys, from the red guys. That's the job of the purple teamer. You want to blend them in order to be able to get a final view of what goes wrong within your organization. That will make you identify eventually dead angles, some inexistent separation of responsibilities and roles, anything at all. Think that's where you capitalize on the input that you have been getting throughout the whole mission. And that part of the project that may lead you ahead years ahead, actually, because it takes time to patch vulnerable systems within a corporate environment. That's not a simple thing to do. You got to nudge people, saying, "Yeah, have you patched it?" Not as of yet. That's not the best part of your mission, right? But that's the one that you need to realize, because otherwise you would have been doing the whole thing prior to that for nothing, right? You could have taken a box somewhere. You're regulator compliant, right? But that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it to get better. You want to get a better defensive posture. Okay, now, just to finish it up, some do's and don'ts. This is not a definitive list, of course, by no means. Just something that I want to emphasize as part of my experience, Retex. Internalizing the red teaming service is a plus. It's a huge bonus. I've done it several times internally and externally with external teams. However good they are, they don't have the same vision. They don't have the same let's say, eagerness to help your organization to get better. The external guys. It's a plus if you have enough budget to get an internal red team. Being sexy is key. I'm not referring to myself by any means. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there, right? You would find like someone much prettier than myself. I'm saying this is an awareness program, okay? You want to pass the message on. So, marketing representation. I'm not a very fond of marketing, I like representing data in hexadecimals, right? But that's not the way to go with CEOs and even CISOs. They're like, okay, yeah, right. You'll get the budget. No, you want to pass the message successfully. The message stemming from the results of your job, of your task. Being humble is very much the key of success. I've seen lots of pen testers and the red guys. The level of humility varies there, okay? Really, it does vary. Very, very. So you want to be humble here, and you want to be able to adapt to the environments. So, last part of it, avoid overkills, as I've told you. No kill if it's overkill, right? Most likely, you'll get the task overcomplicated for yourselves in the first place. You don't want to brag about what you have done. You want to be successful at what you do. So do it the way it works. Sensitive data manipulation, especially in the post-GDPR era, that's very important. And if you're in an internal team, you've got a natural incentive to be very, let's say, picky about it. Okay, red teaming don'ts. The last part of my presentation. Hop, if I get there, I will manage to get there, yeah. Seek to the security baselines. I know all the pen testers do that. Well, not very much so, right? On-premise command and controls. This is something that you can realize. You cannot trust the cloud. I know that the US guys are our friends and all, but you know, Amazon, you don't know what they do with your data. I would rather keep it internally to the extent that I can afford within the scopes of my mission. Encrypt all these sensitive things. That's the key point here. Do encrypt it. You're dealing with your organization's data, and you may get fined for what you're doing. Again, GDPR. Avoid storing sensitive things on your endpoints, cloud, whatever, without special controls put in place. And last but not least, please clean up when you're done. You know, yeah, I've been supervising some missions. Yeah, you know, pen testers, especially external pen testers, they do leave stuff behind. Yeah. Happens, right? Okay. Anyways, I'm overly done with that. Sorry for the technical disturbance, as it's usually the case. If you have any questions, you may ask them by mailing me to alexkouzmine@socgen.com or redteam@socgen.com. Happy to be with you here. Gotta get back to Paris right away. Right into the incident responding and blue part of it. But thank you very much for inviting me over, and it has been a pleasure to share what I have to share. Maybe we'll have some time for an extra question or so.
Thank you for the presentation. We have a small amount of time for 1 or 2 questions. Someone want any question?
Thank you for the presentation. It was very, very interesting. You were mentioning in the last part that the C2 should be internally.
Yep.
So how do you test the detection capability?
Well, you may have
external.
You don't
C2?
have to bound yourself to just one C2. You may build up a chain of C2s. The final C2s will be on your on your premises. That's the thing I've been talking about. So your question is relative to that?
So you would have proxies?
Yeah, you would have proxy C2ing basically through them, in order to actually store the final data that you're exfiltrating, for instance, within the premises of your information system or something under your control.
Okay, all clear. Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? I've got a best question contest here, since we have some time. Make Pentest great again. This is a cap I got at a different conference. You know, I want to share it with you. Whoever asks the best question, you are the first one in place. No one? No one's in it? Okay. I've got lots of has to share, you know.
So if I send you links to this email address, will you click on them?
What's that?
If I send you links and documents to this email address, will you click on them?
Yeah, absolutely. I usually do click on links right away. Thank you for bringing my awareness up there. Okay, so are we done?
Yes. Oh, Alice.
So you were discussing about big data exfiltration,
Yeah.
which by definition is big. data.
It's big. Yeah.
So my question would be, by definition, sometimes you have, just a little throughput. You have small SSH channels with a very limited capacity. So would you exfiltrate everything through that small tunnel and then for what you need, or the opposite way, filter everything, but with the risk of being detected because you use a lot of computational power, I don't know, and then just exfiltrate?
Okay, when you're talking about big data, you don't want to exfiltrate all the big data. You won't have any use. We're not Chinese people here. We don't do trawling. We get, distinct things you want to look after. For instance, you've identified IBANs stored within the banking environment, which are sensitive nominative data. Okay? You want to exfiltrate just those. That takes, maybe a few megs. That's enough. Also, when exfiltrating through regular channels from within the information system, targeted information system, you can get detected quite easily if you exfiltrate through email, sending like 50 megs corporate emails. That's something you want to avoid, but it depends on the scope of what you're testing, once again.
So thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
A little of chocolate.
Okay. Thank you.
Back to Paris.
I'll share with my colleagues. Thank you very much.